We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung đến đại đức tăng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Tình chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Saranto Suchedo Ye La Hudi San Miao San Puto Xie. Namo Tak Dak Tha Toya Daya La De Tam Miao Tam Bo Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jian nan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou qu, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jing Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 10th of February 2023. We are here in Gold Forest to continue. My thing is frozen for some reason. Oh yeah, it's not frozen anymore, sorry. This technology thing is too much for me. Thank you for coming to join our discussion of the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's written by Master Ching, Great Master Ching Liang. We are here in Gold Forest. It's about 7:40 local time. And we started at 4 in the afternoon to accommodate the Asian time. Particularly, we have our temples in our way places in Korea. So we started at 4. Right, 4, which is about 9 a.m. in Saturday morning over there. Am I correct? Okay. And so we're doing this to accommodate the Asian practitioners. So we start in the morning at 4 morning there, but 4 p.m. here. So now, and then we finish at 6, and we waited until 7:30 to continue our work. Hey, thank you, kids. Yeah, all right, thank you so much. Yeah, and it's a pleasure to have you all here, and I want you to understand that our philosophy about this, we know it's very difficult for you to, especially here in the US, to take time off from work, and especially after work. You're tired and you still come here and practice with us. We really appreciate it. So feel free, please feel free, that our policy is to provide food for you to eat. We won't call it dinner because no telling what is available. Okay, so whatever we have available, we want to share with you. Okay, so please feel free. This is our thing. You want to cultivate, we want to make sure we try to our best to make it easier for you to cultivate. So please don't feel like I feel obligated if I come and eat, and then I owe the triple jewel. Heck no. You eat, it's on me, okay? It's not a whole lot. But please feel free. And this is our policy. I want my disciples and everyone to feel like, hey, we're sharing as much as we can. We're not Michelin star restaurant, but we're working, we're getting there someday. But please feel free to eat, because if you're hungry, you can't listen. So this is the real reason. When you cultivate, we're here to make it easier for you to cultivate. That's all. There's no hidden agenda. Don't feel like you owe triple jewel anything. You are exhausting your blessings. No. Okay? It's my gift to you. On my free will is our community service, okay? And because when you cultivate, become better individuals, go out there, go home, go back to your areas, the neck of the woods, and you become a better person. That's how we all contribute in our own ways, okay? So my job is to help support your cultivation, please. So please feel free. Okay, now that's for the American, the U.S. times. In Korea, for example, they come in the morning, and we, by tradition, we provide them free lunch and so forth. And so please feel free to take advantage of it. Of course, it's not as good as the barbecue and the soju restaurant next to the temples. But, if you feel like it, take advantage of it, okay? And no obligations, and please feel free, okay? Enjoy, it's relax, it's not a big deal, okay? We get you another way. I'm kidding. Okay? Just relax, it's not a big deal at all. This is important to me because I want my disciples, everyone to understand. Cultivation I'm doing this out of gratitude to my teachers who've been supporting me and teaching me. So I don't know how to repay that kindness. I was pretty unhappy, pretty nasty as a person, and I changed a lot. Hopefully for the better. You cannot tell. Until I die. So I feel that's something nice they gave me for free, so I pass it on to you, that's all. And hopefully if some of you will get something out of it, and you pass it on to next generation, that's all. I love it. I used to hate children, by the way. Yuck. And then that's what happened. I shaved my head and joined the temple of Master YongHua. Guess what the first assignment was? Teach at the high school they have. And I hated children. And what kind of children? 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old. They're the worst kids to teach. Okay, and they first started by giving me 2 unruly students. they couldn't fit in any class, so they gave it to me. And guess what? At the end of the semester, they gave me flying marks, so they gave me full class immediately. And pretty soon I became, you got to take a class from him. He's very weird. So anyway, now I think I kind of like kids. Not that much, but I like it better. Okay, so I don't bite, by the way, kids. Don't worry, not yet. Okay, also I'd like to share with you some news. Guess what? These photos here are of the Sea Valley relic that was offered to us recently. This is for Wei Mountain Temple. Okay, you cannot tell the size. This is pretty big. Okay, it's the biggest we have. The Master Old Monk, he has a big Sea Valley. You know, we have this relic exhibit recently at DTT or something, right? And he showed his own relic there, Sea Valley relic. It's huge, right? I'm told this is bigger, right? The old Master Old Monk? No, or smaller? So it's bigger than his. And then once it's offered to us in Vietnam, okay, you know it's rare. You will not find this. It's a unique in itself. As soon as we brought it to his house for safekeeping, these relics appear. Look at this. 1, 2, I don't know. And then on the left here, somewhere, 3, the relics appear. Fascinating. So the Master Old Monk will fly to Vietnam, back to his home, pick it up. And the Koreans also have, just for your information, Koreans also have their own Sea Valley relic, a little bit smaller. Okay? But they have their own too. And then in beginning of April, we'll fly them to Korea to do a relics exhibit there. Okay, so if you like to visit Korea, April is a good time to visit, and come to our relic exhibit at Jewel Mountain Temple. Yeah, look at that, Jewel Mountain Temple. Those are the people clapping their hands. You cannot tell. They all, the people, the Koreans came to us recently and they said, I didn't realize that you have to travel from temple to temple. I thought it's like 5 minutes. No, it's more like 5-6 hours. Okay, so what is this? Huh? This is a Korean thing?
Cái này là trước khi mà cái ngôi hồi nãy đó, thì cái ông thầy bạn của con, ổng cầu xin cho con một cái ngôi khác. Thì cái ngôi lớn nó sinh ra rồi ổng cất đi. Nó sinh ra cái áo y của ổng để lên bàn á, rồi ổng cất đi. Thì sáng sau sinh ra 2 ngôi con nữa đó.
So he asked his friend to find him a Sea Valley relic for me because yours is bigger than mine. How can that be? So he says, okay, you still jealous? I mean, he didn't say it, but I knew it, I'm jealous, what can I say? Why would people think if his relic is bigger than mine? So he called his friend and said, can you help him get a relic? And lo and behold, this relic here appeared in his sash. So he said, this is yours.
Cái y của ông để trên bàn, ông làm việc thì nó sinh ra, ông lấy ông cất thì ngày hôm sau sinh 2 ngôi trắng nữa.
Yeah, so the big one is the one that appeared first, and then he put it away, and he said, okay, this is belongs to as per his request, belongs to me. Next day, these 2 appeared as well. See, these look similar to the Sea Valley relics we have here, right? Okay, look at the fingernails. Okay, it's bigger than the fingernails. Impressive, huh? Cool. Okay, and then after this, and we were offered, and they heard that we are looking for a Sea Valley relic for me, and this is why we offered this. Okay.
Cái ngôi này là cho Way Mountain này.
So this is a Way Mountain.
Còn
because
của
we
bên
want the Way Mountain Sea Valley
Hàn
to
Quốc
be
thì
bigger than his Sea Valley thing.
bên Hàn Quốc thì con kêu người ta kiếm thì có rồi, nhưng mà cái này con về con cũng bưng qua cho Hàn Quốc.
Okay,
Khác.
and then Korea have their own, and he'll bring them to Korea. We will not unveil it now, you know. Okay, we keep the Koreans in suspense. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. All right. Okay, now we go to the real deal. Okay, we learn about the Buddha Dharma. Okay, we're right now on to slide 251. Second door, talk about stores and so forth. Okay, now let's jump into it. You know, don't try to understand too much. Okay, just listen, absorb. Okay, whatever. Okay. All right. 250. To the extent that they illustrate the principles, practices, and fruition of bodhisattvas, they're called the bodhisattva store.
诠释菩萨理行果故名菩萨藏。
Okay, we should fix the they. Okay, they same thing here. All right. So he's talking about the stores as some of the sutras, these texts. They explain about the principles that you're supposed to learn about the bodhisattva practices and the fruitions and the principles governing their practices, their behavior. Okay, and then it's called the Bodhisattva store. In other words, the Avatamsaka Sutra also is part of the Bodhisattva store. Okay, 252. Therefore, the Alamkara Shastra Part 4 says, these three stores, due to the distinction of superior and inferior vehicles, further make up the sound hearer store and the Bodhisattva store. Mahayana Samparigraha agrees with this.
故庄严论第四云：此三藏由上下甚差别故，复为声闻藏及菩萨藏，摄大圣同此。
Okay, so the great master Jing Liang, he says, he's very, very scholarly. He's very erudite. He understands the whole Mahayana store, and that's why he's able to write this prologue. The prologue is a proof that he has an encyclopedic knowledge about the Buddhist teachings. So he's very qualified to discuss this. And so the stores, what of interest to us are what are the things that are taught in the store, how useful are they? They're useful in the sense that some of the Shastras say that the three stores, Sutra, Vinaya, and Shastra stores, because even when you look at the goal of these stores is to train people ultimately, is to develop people ultimately, okay? And therefore, they can distinguish two types of potential audiences. Audiences, have superior roots, and audiences have inferior roots. Buddhism, we don't beat around the bush. Okay? Inferior roots is like children. You don't expect much from them. So you have to teach them, they can only absorb so much. Okay? And superior roots are like the bodhisattvas, the adults. They can understand a lot more. Okay? And so similarly, in Buddhism, we have inferior vehicles, meaning that they are the sound hearer, store, therefore inferior people, meaning that there is so much they can understand, there's so much you can go, okay? That can only go so far. And for superior people, then we can take them a lot further. That's why they use the word inferior versus superior, because the potential is really huge between the Hinayana, which is for this inferior roots people, and Mahayana, which is for the superior roots people. There's no comparison. It's like comparing a lake versus the great ocean, if you will. That kind of scale. Okay? And in Buddhism, we don't beat around the bush. We tell you this is for, depending on your potential and your abilities, we can only teach you so much. This is a guidance for us too, not just for you, but also for us. We look at you and say, okay, as a teacher, you have inferior roots, then we should not be talking to you about Mahayana stuff, because you be bored and you run away. You say, this is superstition, this is nonsense, and so forth. Okay? You will not believe it. So therefore, you have to pay attention, include especially Sanghas who speak the Dharma. You don't just open your mouth and tell everyone about what you know. It's irrelevant what you know. It's about looking at who's able to receive and what's appropriate to talk to them about. Is it clear? Of course, we know you know a lot more than the Buddhist disciples, but you need to be smarter and wiser in choosing to convey only things that are appropriate for them. Don't dump them all your knowledge. No one wants that. Okay? And so that's why there's inferior, superior store. We only tell you things that are appropriate for you. Yes, I'll be blunt with you. I know a lot more than I can tell you. There's so much more that I can possibly explain to you because you won't get it. Period. So I have to be patient and wait. Sometimes I have to wait for a week, wait for a month, wait for a year, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. I have to be patient, that's all. You too, go ahead.
Master, I have a question. So, for example, I'm gonna name somebody because it's been something on my mind. So sometimes I share stuff with Jane just for Jane's sake, but she will tell everybody, and it becomes like a gossip. And we've been addressing it with her, and it seems that we cannot get the point across. So how do you talk to a person when they tell everybody everything you tell them? But when we tell her it's just meant for her, she doesn't seem to get it.
Then you stop telling her. As simple as that. If they cannot hold their tongue, then you just say, I'm not going to tell you. That's all. Stop telling her. And then if you tell them, don't tell anyone, they turn around and tell people, then you say, I'm not going to tell you anything. You have to ask someone else who can enforce it, okay? Can enforce the rule. Okay? That's all. That's your fault. You share with her things that she cannot keep in confidence. On the other hand, maybe it's you who says, the restriction here is that this is just for you alone, not for everyone else. And she says, I disagree with you. Okay, and therefore, it takes two to tango. Is that just an expression? I forgot. Tango? Never mind. It takes two to tango. If from your perspective you say, I tell you not to share with people, but you don't listen to me, therefore I'm going to stop telling you. On the other hand, the other side says, I hear you. However, I disagree with you. This is meant for me to share with others. And therefore, both sides need to reconcile the differences. Okay, so she's doing all right. She says, Master, what do I do? Okay, and I said, from your perspective, you stop. Okay, because if they don't listen to your instructions, you stop teaching them. On the other hand, the other says, okay, I disagree with you, so therefore, if you stop teaching me, then I will bring it up with someone else, higher level than you. What is your position again? Can I talk to your boss? Who is your supervisor? You know, that kind of thing. It works both ways. This is why it's called democracy. Buddhist democracy. Okay? You agree or disagree? Hey. Uh-oh. It's going to be a while, folks. Yes, number 4. Yes, dear. You disagree with me. Remember, there's no higher boss than me. Yes.
So Master, now they have like a group, and they have multiple groups. So when you tell one person, it always goes back to the group. So it seems like it's uncontrollable. So it's like I don't know what to say or what not to say, what I can say, what I can't say.
Stop controlling people. Look at me. I don't try to control you. Just try to get your love and adoration, respect maybe. Okay? Don't try to control people, honey. They're uncontrollable. Women, please don't take this wrong. Women always try to control their husbands. You know what I mean? Guys? You have to let go. We are left-home people. We don't control people. That's all. Okay? Don't control them. We have to stop being control freaks. They can be control freaks. We cannot. We're supposed to have wisdom. Because people with wisdom don't control others. Okay? If you have wisdom, what are you afraid of? Why do you have to control them? If they do whatever they do, they screw up, well, we find a way to fix it. Or we simply, hey, I told you, good luck. Okay? It doesn't matter. Don't control them. Why do you have to control people at all? Okay? They're not your children. Oh God, it's someone else's children. Why do we have to worry about them? Okay? Wrong premise. We don't control people at all. We don't need to control people. Okay, Way Mountain. It's going to be a while, folks. Yes.
Master, I have a question as well. Master have transmitted us the position how to sit, and somehow I actually happened that person took a picture of that and without our permission posted up on the group, and it was supposed to be the transmission from Master to all of the people who actually present to be there, and they posted that.
The photo of what?
The photo Master taught me how to try that with preserving the chi from us, and
what?
It was just supposed
I
to
don't
be
get
between.
it. Could you repeat, please? What is that the photo of?
So in 2020, back in the day when Master Z was still here, I happened to drove the Oman to Go Forest, and during that lunchtime, Master taught us how to thrive with preserving the chi. is to meditate and thrive as well. And it was the picture that was taken, and some of the method was wrong, and it was posted. And the transmission to me, what I thought is Master teach the people around when we are there at the temple, and somehow it was posted online without me asking for permissions. So how do we deal with that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I am innocent. Don't look at me like that, okay? Okay, if I screwed up, I'm sorry. Don't try to control me. I don't know what you're talking about. If you have problems, so what? They transmit, it was okay. I don't care. Who cares? Seriously. There's no money involved. We're not making money out of it. Who cares? Whatever you do, who cares? Relax, man. I mean, relax. Whatever they want to do with it, we tell them to do, not to do, and they do it anyway. It happens. It's called people. They are uncontrollable, okay? Look at your kids. They're uncontrollable. Okay, so it's no big deal. Okay, I used to be so, to tell you the truth, I used to be so scared of it, so paranoid about it. He said, we're not supposed to transmit the hands and eyes to others. You're not supposed to teach it to others. And guess what? It leaks out anyway. It's nothing. Nothing at all. The hands and eyes information, for example, which is a very secret practice, is put on the internet, is sold by $5 per hand or whatever, nonsense. Why even Master YongHua disciples, monk disciples who sold, you want to learn, you want a booklet on hand number 6, $5. Okay? You laughing, but you multiply by 42. It adds up. Someone told me recently. I went to Costco to get Costco gas. Anyone? Okay. You're cheap just like me. God, that's disgusting. I got Costco gas and there's a line, lucky for me, 6 cars. Is something wrong with you guys up here? Down south, I drove by once, it's like 20 cars per line, okay? And they all speak some kind of foreign language. Here, there's 4 cars ahead of me, and I said, "Oh, that's a short line. Let's go for it." Okay, and so it's not a big deal at all. Relax, man. Don't make a big deal out of everything. Don't get so afflicted. Okay. I don't know why I told the Costco thing. Costco fascinates me. But anyway, it's because someone just got a new Costco card. I say, what can you do with it again? He said, get gas. Oh yeah? Let's do it. Anyway, it's okay, relax. If they screw up, they screw up. It's $5, $10. Oh, I know why Costco gas. Because the quote is that after I got the gas and I complained, I said, I saved $1 or $2 on this. And I said, the point is that it adds up. $5, times 42, times 200 disciples. That's a new roof. Okay, so it's okay. If they get away with it, fine. I'm happy. If his disciple gets away with charging you $5 per hand, I'm happy for him. I charge $6 because mine is better. Okay. Anyway, relax. It's okay. I don't know why, since when you are so strict. We try to tell people those things and they don't listen. That's how it goes. Most of you listen, some of you don't listen, and you will find out there's some consequences if you don't listen. That's all. It's your karma, it's your retribution. We're not worried about it. Okay? You did our jobs. We were supposed to tell you, give you the proper instruction. You don't follow instruction, it's your problem. Don't come to me crying. All right, anyone else? Can we get back to some real wisdom thing? Okay. So anyway, so really, the Buddha, he doesn't mince words. He says there's superior and inferior. That's it. I know it's offensive to people nowadays. And they said, when they said superior meaning Mahayana, Hinayana is inferior, and then just imagine for one moment, what about the non-Hinayana people? What are they called? See that? It's insulting. The Buddha is just, the Bodhisattva, they don't beat around the bush. I'm sorry. That's how it is. And guess what? Nowadays, even the Hinayana monks are so offended by us. They said, don't call us Hinayana. It's Theravada. You realize Theravada is inferior to Hinayana? You know why? Anyone know why? I chuckle about this because all these scholars, the professors, and they say, have you got the memo? It's like they talk like that. Didn't this guy, meaning me, get the memo that you don't use Hinayana anymore? You use Theravada. I said, since when? How come I'm not on the list? Theravada means elders' teachings. Hinayana means small vehicle from a Buddha. Theravada is only from the elders. It baffles me why they would want to go from Hinayana to Theravada. Theravada is simply elders, meaning they have a lot of years as a monk. That's it. Doesn't mean they have wisdom. Hinayana says, my teaching here is the teaching of wisdom for a certain group of people. I'm going to call them small roots people. That's it. You call children small children, don't you? You call them superior children? My God, they will laugh at you. Yes? So this is why the scholars, they are very offended by us using, but especially me using the word Hinayana, but actually I'm factual. Theirs is not. And the reason it happened is because a lot, I feel, I don't know, I'm not a history kind of person. One of my disciples is more like geography than history. I said, why? Anyway, it's a different story. So, why geography? Anyway, I digress a lot. It's okay. I'm getting old up there. Anyway, so what happened, I feel, is that a lot of Sri Lankans, them Hinayana people, they went to universities to get a PhD. Okay? And that's how these programs, they tend to praise such people, having education, have a PhD in Buddhism or whatever. And then, because that's a form of certification for them, they're credible, increase the level of credibility. So it's funny, in Korea, for example, I'm told that some monk got a PhD from the Big East University program, and came back and he lectured, and he'd have like hundreds of thousands of people attending his lectures because he's supposed to be an expert in Buddhism because he got a PhD from a great institution. To me, I chuckle, I said, this guy may get a degree, but he doesn't know anything. You know words, but you don't know the meaning of the words. Buddhism, we don't stress these words, we stress the meaning behind it. Okay? It's not, you can throw words at me, I'm not impressed. Because I look at you and say, the word you use, you don't understand. Okay? So, anyway, so these people, they got PhDs, lots of them. And they prized. They came back to their own countries, they got temples, they got recognition. I know of a guy who used to come to Lu Mountain Temple to get free room and board because he's referred to me by his one of the acquaintances, Sri Lankan acquaintances. And he's doing his PhD at one of the small universities near our temple. And he says, I have a big temple in Sri Lanka, in Colombo. And he's like a superstar there. He has his own column in the Buddhist newspaper, whatever. He teaches classes, he has seminars and so forth. He doesn't know anything. I was so disappointed. Okay? And so anyway, so these people get PhDs, and what happened is that they stayed on at these programs. And they said, I am Mahathera, whatever, monk, PhD in whatever. And they have so many of them that they're part of the academia. And they decided, they banded together and they decided that, Hinayana is not worthy of us. We are big times, we're big knowledge, big professors, and so forth. So that's why they said, from now on, let's call it Theravada, not Hinayana. And we chuckle, and we are professionals said, the Buddha never called it Theravada. You guys call it Theravada. We call it Hinayana, because we know that it's a reminder there's only so much they can absorb. There's no need to talk more. It falls on deaf ears. I'm calm. Okay? So that's why, to me, don't be surprised in the future. I've been attacked before by scholars, by all these people. They get real offended. Okay? So be it. You can't please everyone. That's why we're always poor and small and obscure. No one likes us. It's just like xianshen. If you try to control people, it's even worse. I'm not even trying to control people and they don't like me already. Okay, where are we again? Superior, inferior, okay? This is what it is. Superior people talk about anything. They can just get it. And that's how when you speak Dharma, you have to try it out. You throw something at them, probe them. If they say, what are you talking about? Okay, and then you relax and you talk to them about inferior stuff. That's how it is. Same thing at work. You can't talk to an employee at the same way you talk to your peers, your executive peers. They don't get it. They don't understand that at your level, if they waste your time, it's cardinal sin. They don't get it. Try to beat into their brains, they don't get it. There's nothing you can do. Okay, so you hang around, have a beer with them when it's time. Okay? All right. So that's why they said the inferior is sound area restored And the superior, when we use those teachings to teach a superior rooted people, it's called Bodhisattva store. And the Bodhisattvas who wrote these shastras confirm it. Okay? 254. Then, since these two vehicles are identical in principle and fruition, they are combined.
此就二圣离果同故合之。
Okay, so 255, it says, they call two principles actually, for the Bodhisattvas, the Mahayana teachings, we recognize that the Hinayana teachings is a subset of it. Why? Because it's the foundation of the Bodhisattva vehicles. You cannot get higher unless you build a proper foundation. And the Hinayana is a part of the foundation, very important part of the foundation. So it's the same. It's the difference is that they're identical in principle and fruition. They get to the arhatships and the enlightened conditions levels. Okay, the fruition is the same. The principle is the same. The difference, only difference is that they are told basically that you ain't seen nothing yet. In Mahayana, we tell them, you're good, you're fourth stage arhat, congratulations, but you ain't know nothing yet. Okay? That's the only difference. Difference is that we tell our people, don't stop. It's pretty impressive. You are doing very well, but don't stop there. There's so much more wonderful things to look forward to. That's the only difference. All right? 256. If one makes distinctions based on the teachings and practices, then they are open out to three vehicles and constitute those three stores, as in the Universal Transcendence and similar sutras.
若曰教行别故，即开三圣，以为三藏，如普超等经。
Okay. You can even break them down to three stores instead of two stores, three stores, because they're different levels of wisdoms. Okay. The Bodhisattva's highest level of wisdom. Okay. The next level of wisdom is enlightened to conditions, and the lowest level is sound hearers or arhats. Okay. 258. Furthermore, because those enlightened to conditions, for the most part, do not rely on the teaching and appear when no Buddha is in the world.
又由缘觉多不戒教，出无佛事。
All right. 259. Commentary. The Bodhisattvas, okay, who are the big enlightenment, sound hearers are small enlightenment. In between, there's something called enlightened to conditions. They're slightly higher than the arhats, but much lower still from the Bodhisattvas. So these guys in between are special breed where they actually can practice on their own without any Buddha Dharma at all. So that's how, so the Buddha Dharma they practice, the Dharma they practice is called the 12 links of causes and conditions. Okay? And what they do is that they can contemplate those 12 links on their own, and they can become enlightened. They can open the wisdom on their own without any help, without any Buddhas around. Whereas the sound hearers, the arhats, and the bodhisattvas, they need to practice the Buddha Dharma itself. Okay? All right? So in the times when there's no Buddhas in the world, no Buddha Dharma in the world, they practice the 12 conditioned links. Okay? And that's why they don't need the Buddha Dharma itself. Okay? it still goes on. Okay? What are the 12 conditionings? I advise you to memorize these, because these are very insightful. What happened to these unlike conditions? They withdraw to the wilderness and they watch the seasons change, how the nature changes and gets cold, leaves fall off and the trees become barren, they have the winter weather, and then spring comes again, and the cycle of life goes round and round and round. Okay? And when you look at that, they observe that, they see the manifestation of 12 links. And I say, oh, wow, nature is so, what's the word? Beautiful. You're unhappy because you don't see beauty in life. Can we agree on that? You suffer because you don't see beauty in your life. You have a treasure right there, a beautiful thing called beautiful life, and yet don't appreciate how beautiful it is. How beautiful it is to hurt when the legs hurt. How beautiful it is. Huh? You know why it's beautiful? When it's hurting right there, actually healing your entire body. Invisibly. It's called miracle. Isn't it beautiful? And something as painful could be so beautiful. And then beyond that, when you endure the pain like these weak people, okay, they can't take the pain, but you endure the pain, then something wonderful happens. The pain you experience, the greater pain you experience, the greater the pain you can endure, guess what? You're going to discover in your life something else called greater joy. Greater pain? First timer, look at it. Oh, yeah, it's too much. Okay? Great pain? See, right now, you can endure so much pain. You say, no, I don't want it anymore. It's just like the lady behind you. She says, pain is not for me. I've been studying Buddhism. I've been to many temples, listening to many great teachers. No one ever said, you're supposed to endure more pain. Okay? She says, I like everything you say. You are really funny guy, okay? But pain, no. Okay? But again, since she's inferior, what can we do? We say, don't say nothing. We wait, okay? And eventually she comes back. And one day she said, let me give it a try. And guess what? She tried, endure more pain. And that's what happened. The more pain you're willing to put yourself through, it's like a pendulum. It will, when you can endure it, eventually it will swing the other way. And that's why the more pain you can endure, the greater joy you are going to endure over here. That's the secret. That's why it's so beautiful. Pain is so beautiful. Lloyd says, I don't care what he says. I don't like it. I'm not buying into this. Okay. Give yourself time. Okay? So anyway. So these enlightened conditions. Can we go back to the wisdom thing instead of gossiping constantly? I like to gossip. Yeah. So the 12 conditionings are the manifestation of life itself. It's so beautiful. How the Buddha sees life evolving. Okay? And these enlightened conditioning, they observe these 12, these things happening in the world, these changes in life, and they say, wow, it is so beautiful. So that's why I strongly encourage you to memorize these 12 conditionings. They are beautiful. There's so much wisdom. You can use it in your daily life one day, trust me. You want to sell? Use 12 conditionings. You want to make money? Use 12 conditionings. Yes, one.
Master, is the order of the 12 links of causes and conditions important?
Yes. Just memorize them. 1, ignorance. 2, activity. 3, consciousness, and so forth. Okay? And what happened is that Master YongHua, I owe to him, he explained to me why 1 leads to 2, 2 leads to 3, 3 leads to 4, and you see that how we function. Would you like to know? Would that help you? Would that convince you? No, she says, no. Not the first time. We're patient. Ignorance, okay? There's things that we don't understand, okay? And one of them is, why are we attracted to someone else? We're just attracted to. Sounds familiar? We look at someone, oh, I like you. Anyone? Daniel, you think of living the home life. You cannot be like that. Okay, so it's natural for us to like someone. I'm not talking about sex. It's just like, I like you. Look at her. She's kind of cute. She looks younger and younger, that woman right there. She's falling asleep, but it's okay. She looks younger and younger. You know that? It's weird. I look older and she looks younger. She takes all the youth out of me. So you just like someone. That ignorance there. There's no reason for you to like someone else. You know what I mean? They're cute, but yeah, there's no reason to like them. Okay, so ignorance here is, it's not just a liking, but it's also this attraction. This attraction, someone, you're drawn to someone. Anyone? Okay? And sometimes it's like the hair. Sometimes, someone told me, the hair, long hair is so beautiful. I said, in a man? Are you kidding me? So you see, it doesn't work for me. But that's his ignorance. Okay? So because of that ignorance, okay, you have activity. You do things such as chasing after them. Okay? And because you chase after them, you do the things I cannot talk about because you're PG-13 here. Okay? You know what I mean? the girl gets in trouble. Daniel said, why didn't mommy tell me? Now you know. No more excuses. Okay? So that's at that point, at that moment, life begins. Not like the doctors. Doctor says whatever they define it as. In Buddhism, the Buddha says life begins at that very moment. This is actually what happened. Would you like to know exactly what happened? And I was told, I was explained. What happened is that when you die, after you die, okay, you are sitting there in the dark, okay? Are you interested in knowing this? It could happen to you. I'm serious. Please don't laugh like that. It hurts my feelings. Okay, so after you're dead, you go into this ghost state where you sit there and you wait. Okay, you wait, and then all of a sudden you see light. It's very dark. You sit there, and Daniel opened his eyes, and he can't see anything. It's very scary thing. Okay, after you're dead. After you die, you go into this blindness, this dark thing where you open your eyes, you can't see anything. It's a very, very scary thing. And all of a sudden, all this darkness, there's a light somewhere. And guess what happens? What would you do, sir? What would you do when you see light and you see it's all dark around you and you see one point of light there? What would you do? This is an interview. TikTok. Sir, what would you do? You say, no, this guy is too smart. No, when you're in that state, you're scared, you're cold, you're hungry, you go towards the light because you can see. And guess what the light comes from? Mom and dad. Oh. You drawn there, folks. You drawn to the light. That's what happens to a lot of you. And so you say, you don't believe it? You probably happened to you, guaranteed. It's called retribution. Okay? So you're drawn to mommy and daddy. So the activity actually is like creating sparks, I think. Are we still safe? The kids don't get it at all. Okay? So the activity, okay, whatever activity that is, okay, creates light, and the consciousness of you are drawn to it. Boom! That's what happened. And that's when life begins. Right then, at the very moment when you're in the dark and you say that, and you go there, the moment you reach that point of light, that's life. So far, so good. This is the Buddha's wisdom. There's no way for the scientists and the doctors to know the connection between after you die to your next death and your next birth, by the way. Only Buddha sees it. Isn't that cool? That's wisdom. Okay? That's 3. So far, so good. Does it help now so far? I explained up to 3 already. It's logical. You're drawn for some stupid reasons. It's called stupidity or ignorance. And sometimes I said it's the hair, sometimes it's the hand. It's weird. It's no explaining. Sounds familiar? And when you look back and say, why? Okay. So ignorance leads to something stupid we do, and then because something stupid we do, life begins. Oh, children are still children. Isn't that wonderful? They don't know what we're talking about. Okay. Okay. That's 3. And then as it evolves, this name and form, meaning that actually it begins to split. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes, what's next? 16? 256? I stopped. That's as far as my math goes. Okay? Never had more than 256. What are you looking at me for? Okay. Anyway, so far so good. So the name and form, it is forming. Okay? Actually, it's multiplying. Okay? And then 6 entrances. Now, actually, your sense organs are forming. The eyes, you can see on the scope there, what looks like an eye, what looks like the heart beating. Okay? That's called 6 entrances. That's number 5. Isn't it cool? The Buddha says that's the stages of life. You have a doctor back there who says, I don't believe it. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Okay? So 6 entrances. Because you have sense organs. What happens? You have contact. Like when she drinks some beer, the baby feels cold. Okay? There's contact. Okay? Because we have these 6 sense organs. Purpose is to interact with the outside world. As soon as it's there, we have contact. Odyssey 2001. You don't watch movies clearly. Asian women are boring. YouTube question.
From Alex, Master, I feel like the people I am drawn to are very depressed and manic. How do I adjust when I am naturally drawn to?
You drawn to depressed and manic people? So am I. Ask someone else. What can you do? It's a good question, by the way. Alex asks questions like that, which annoys the heck out of me every single time. He wants to know why. And what do I do about it? It's called ignorance. What does ignorance tell you? Nothing we can do about it. We're just drawn to such people. And if you want to go back a little bit, it's because usually in a prior life, it happened already. Why are we so quiet? It happened already. And you liked it. You said, nice hair. And guess what? That liking the hair there is going to happen again in future life. That's usually what happens. The liking is history repeating itself over and over and over again. That's why we call it the wheel of reincarnation. We start over again. We do the same thing. We like it. And we like it more and more until she divorces us. And then we say, oh, I don't like this. That's when you say, I want to stay away from that girl. And then look for someone else. And we never like long hair. Now we like fingernails. Okay? That's why it's called ignorance. Don't try to justify it, man. I mean, between us. I can't speak for them, okay? I know, it's a nature of ignorance. It doesn't make sense. You tell someone, I like. Why do you do that? I like it. Okay, so Alex, sorry, if you like such people, you're looking at only them having some issues, but actually you liking that person is usually deeper than just being manic or depressed. It's just like some other things, okay, that draws you to such people. And just life, it's your retribution. So far, so good. Okay. So 6, we go back to 6, contact. What's the theme song for Odyssey 2010? I only remember Star Wars. Never mind. 2001, and next is 2010. You didn't watch the sequel. Anyway, so contact, okay. And lo and behold, when you touch, there's feeling arises. This is beautiful. Okay? It's through contact that feeling arises. All right? And because feeling arises, stronger feelings are called love. Feelings build up. They layer after layer after layer. And that's why all these layers become love. Okay? Because of love, you become jealous. That's grasping. Say, no one else can have you. I'm exclusive. Okay? So when she becomes jealous, hey guys, it's called don't tell them, we got them. Isn't that cool? Look at them, so sheepish. Okay? So, when the grasping here, they like to say grasping like this, but let me tell you, grasping with the mind, with the heart, that's called jealousy. You didn't know that, guys. When they're jealous, it's because they so cool, huh? Don't tell them. But unfortunately, vice versa, if you feel jealous, boy, are you in trouble? Okay? Cool? It works both ways. Okay, that's grasping. Grasping, you cannot let go. Okay? You can't let go. You cannot do without. Okay? And that's why there's marriage. Existence. Okay, existence. Existence here is that this existence here refers to. Do you remember when I told you that you were, after you die and you become into this black state and you're drawn to light? That black state there is called existence. It's called 中阴身 or intermediate skandha body. This is existence. You are about to go to a different next life. Okay? Life continues. All right? You're going to go to somewhere. So far, so good? Okay? And with existence, you'll be born. And after born, you go old, and you grow old, and you die. Those are the 12 conditions links. And it begins again. That is the Buddha's wisdom. I love this because it is so insightful on our lives, the cycles of life, and also the cycles of so many things in life. Remember, I told you the cultivator, he sits there and watches the seasons change. He linked them, the natural phenomena, to the 12 conditioned links. In other words, if you have wisdom, you can use the 12 conditioned links to explain all the phenomena that you see. That's why it's called wisdom. So I only taught you explain the 12 conditional links from the yin yang thing, but actually it explains everything. That's why it's called wisdom. Yes, one.
Master, so does the 12 links of causes and conditions also apply to our thought seeds?
Your what?
Thought seeds.
Thought
like our thoughts.
Your thoughts, yeah, it's part of it. Okay. Don't ask me because I don't understand completely. Just we use this model here to explain life, which is insightful. And then from there, you can see, you can make the connection yourself gradually. What happens is that they can spend a lifetime contemplating from 4 to 5. Okay, and then they die. They don't get the rest. And next time around, they're born again. They have a chance to cultivate again. Then they pick it up from 5 to 6. They only can make the connections so far, wisdom-wise. Okay? So don't expect to understand everything, all the 12 condition links. Okay? Mm-hmm. But if, one thing there, and if you become enlightened, let's say I declare someone become enlightened, that person understands the 12 condition links. Because they have to go through those phases to get up there. Does it make sense? So these are fundamental part of our wisdom. Does it help? So please memorize it, but this is part, because this is the kind of the wisdom that you eventually will understand yourself naturally. And it's funny because you go through the progression of what really happens between you and your husband, you and your girlfriend, and so forth. You went through all these 12 conditioned links. That's why, which makes it easier to remember. Okay? So for example, you want to sell, for example, someone, I give you an example. You want to sell, for example, so to someone, you say, this person likes to drink. That's called ignorance. Ignorance. I like to drink. Okay? Because of that, you get them to go drinking with you. Go to a bar. Okay? The bar, and you drink and drink. I used to do that. I used to spend a lot of money bringing customers to the bars, and they expect that. And then consciousness means that they begin to like you. Okay? And so you can go through these sequences. You can break it down. Okay, anyway, I'm not here to try to teach you how to sell. Okay, okay, you figure it out on your own. So far, so good? Fine, we have 4 more minutes. Any more questions? Okay. 261. And when the Buddhas is in the world, are grouped with the sound hearers, and there is simply a division into 2, that being the difference between great and small, half and whole.
佛在世时，摄属声闻故，但分为2，即是大小半满不同。
You sound better for some reason. It's like the chi is full. Before it's like, 佛在世时, it's like from the throat. The chi doesn't come from down here. Can you hear the difference? Not to you? I listen, I talk to her all the time. That's why I said, oh no. Anyway, so cool. So they group into sound hearer versus bodhisattvas. So great versus small. Okay, half meaning half word is the small vehicle. Whole word is the Mahayana teaching. Agama is a half word teaching. Prajna period and Dharma flower Nirvana periods are the whole word teaching. That's all you should know this general, should be aware of these concepts, that's all. Sounds good? Okay, I think that's enough for tonight. Next time we continue from 264. Question from JC, go ahead. We can't hear you.
Sorry, Master. 저희 현법입니다. 저희 지금 한국에서 하고 있는 화엄경 독송이 거의 끝나가고 있는데 다음 주 중에 끝날 것 같습니다. 다 끝나게 되면 계속 독송을 이어가야 되는 건지 어떻게 해야 되는지 질문 드리고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
Master, this is Hyunpo. Next week we will complete the recite of Avatamsaka Sutra. So after that, shall we continue or shall we recite another sutra?
If you finish reciting, the way that Master YongHua taught us at the temple is that we would recite the chapter 40 every single day. And then we recite the whole sutra itself, and for the 1 hour, whatever. So for the 1 hour practice, we would first recite the chapter 40, and then we pick up where we last left off, where what we recited the Avatamsaka Sutra, and recite until the end of the hour, and then next time we pick it up again from there. But every single time we would recite, I strongly urge you to recite chapter 40. There's a reason for it. Okay? Eventually you appreciate the reason in the future. It plants a seed for you for, this is why I'm so grateful to Master YongHua's teachings. He simply told us to do a lot of things that are tremendously beneficial for us. Okay? You do them, eventually you understand why. Okay? So that's what we would do. I would encourage you to, again, recite chapter 40 every single time. Every single time you recite the sutra, you start first with chapter 40, and then continue on, okay? Continue and continue and continue. And if you finish the sutra, start over again. I hope it answers the question. Thank you. We'll see you next time.